You look at all the physical stats and you understand why they get results. He's got the fittest team in the league. High intensity, total distance. They're a test, they're a challenge. You have to be physically ready, you have to be mentally ready, you have to be tactically ready, because the movements are so well drilled. So and you've got to be brave on the ball yourself. You've got to get away from your man, because it's well known, his man marking style is not for everyone. He has had a fantastic career as a coach, and I just have to sit back and say the same as so many other managers, that we do look at him and you do think he's an amazing coach and a manager.
Let's talk a little bit about Manchester United's new signing then, Jadon Sancho, who I know we're all so excited about seeing playing in the Premier League, playing for Manchester United. Tell us a bit, because you've watched him a lot at Dortmund, Jules. Where does he best fit into this Manchester United team?
Well, I think he's been brought in to play on the right-hand side, although with Rashford being injured at the start of the season, maybe he will play on the left, because he can play on either side. He's obviously a great talent with the ball, the skills and the pace, and I think this is exactly what they needed. At times last season, we saw against teams that would play quite deep, with not much space, they struggled at times to find a way of breaking them down. I think with Sancho, he can find space anywhere, he can take on players and make differences that way. And I think even if they paid maybe a little bit too much, I think he's an incredible talent that won't need too much time to adapt. And if he gets going straight away, I think he would be a huge asset for them this season.
Jules, do you see him as a player who can play in the tight areas?
Yeah,
I think they're crying out for... I have no problem with Sancho, with the pace of him and the Greenwood and the Rashfords playing off the wide areas. Because James, have got the pace when teams play on the halfway line in behind. But when they sit back, they need the guile. They need a Grealish type. Unfortunately, he's gone across the road to Man City. They've got Fernandes who opens the door for him. Yeah. You see this boy as that type of player?
Yeah, I think he can do it. I think he receives the ball, and then on 1-to-1 or 1v1, even 1v2, he can really go past players, create something for the right-hand side or the left-hand side. And if you put him with Shaw, for example, on the left-hand side, or even Wan-Bissaka or someone else on the right, and then you've got them overlapping, I think he can be very, very dangerous for them. I think it's a very clever signing.
I haven't seen enough of him, if I'm honest. I'm still not overly convinced 100% yet that he's going to do it in the Premier League. But I would definitely think Ole would want to play him on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I think so.
Wan-Bissaka's a very, very good defender, but when he gets himself forward, nowadays it comes width from the fullbacks. Shaw, on the other side, obvious. But they need that little bit of player out there that can go by and get behind defences. And that's what I'm expecting him to see. Not so much come in the pockets and play in there. No. Fernandes will do that. He needs to be a direct, get on the outside, get some crosses in or drive on into the box. If he does that consistently, then he's worth every penny. But wait and see. The jury's still out for me.
Jules, a player who's yet to be confirmed for Manchester United but linked heavily is Rafa Varane. How much do Manchester United need a centre-half?
And again, I think they picked the right guy as well for it. All the experience, Champions League, the World Cup, etc. But more importantly, maybe a guy who complements Harry Maguire so well, in the sense that we know Maguire, what kind of defender he is. Varane has great reading of the game. He's got great anticipation. He's got pace as well. And also, I think he can play with the ball. And I just think them two together will be very good. And United were very good defensively last season. I think they were the third best defence, but with Varane, you can expect them to be even stronger.
Yeah, I think it's a good signing. Obviously, Jules talks about the experience what he's had and winning trophies. That's what Man United need. They need players with a swagger. So when the opposition line up against them, they look across at winners. And I think that a signing like him is exactly what they need. Be interesting to see the dynamics of the two. Vidic, Ferdinand, for me, it's a little bit like that. Whereas Vidic didn't want to play high. Maguire doesn't want to play high, but Varane, he's very happy for that. And Rio was exactly the same. He could sweep up behind. I think if he wants to play on the halfway line, which the Man United fans want to see, they want to see them squeeze the pitch and play in the opposition half, I think he'd be a great signing for that.
That's true.
If that deal is done, which it looks likely to happen before the transfer window closes, Jules, what will the expectations of United be this season? They finished 12 points behind Manchester City last year. Do they need more in order to mount a title challenge?
I think if you look at the starting 11 on paper, if you add Varane and Sancho and let's say the usual regulars, I think this is a very, very good team. The issue for me, or not the issue, the question mark is on Solskjaer. I'm not sure if he can raise his level as a manager to be able to take this team, the starting 11, to the next level. We've seen progress a little bit last season, but it was a bit slow in my liking. And I just don't know if he's good enough for that.
For me, United, looking at United, he's got to find a way of playing Pogba and getting the best out of Pogba, like he does for France, and Fernandes together. Get them both in the team, then you're suddenly elevating that team. We haven't seen it. He doesn't trust them. He has two holding players and plays one of them, or puts Pogba out on the left-hand side.
Right, yeah.
So find a way of playing. We're going back to the old Lampard and Gerrard.
Yeah.
Can they play together? Of course they could play together. Get the balance right, because they're two very, very creative, special players.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got them in your side, you've got a chance of winning football matches.
Yeah.
And they'll work hard enough together, defensively. And if United do that and keep them fit and get them playing, they're going to be right up there.
Is that purely on the manager then, you think, Jules, not getting the best out of Pogba?
I think so. I mean, he like Glenn said, he played on the left-hand side at Spurs, for example, and he played really well in the 4-2-3-1 right onto the left-hand side. And I remember seeing him through the season and said, I like playing there. He's good, but you could tell this is not where he knew his best position was. And I think if you play in a 4-3-3 formation with a holding midfielder and then Bruno and Pogba on each side, then this is much better. The problem is they don't have that holding midfielder. McTominay maybe can play there.
He's got to play that way.
Yeah.
McTominay is not going to be a creative, unbelievable passer like those two. So you've got to make sure that he plays slightly different than that he wants to go for his career.
Yeah.
He's not really a box threat man who's going to score goals. So turn him into a really good sitter.
He's got the physique for it.
Yeah, the physique. He's got everything for it for me. He's a winner. He's a ball winner. He can screen. He'll get better. Now, that midfield to me, and I'm only outside looking in, I think there's a lot of United players actually would love to see that and play with that. If you're up top and you've got that support behind you, my word, if you're a striker, you're in business.
Still got that reliance, though, haven't they, on Fernandes to score the goals and make the assists. A lot of teams are like that. They've got reliance on the individual players, but I see him with no number 9 still. I mean, Man United with no number 9 can win nothing. For me, the last top striker they've had has gone to a shirt in blue now, which is Romelu Lukaku. I think they're Harry Kane away from challenging. I think that is the player they need. They need someone who's going to score the goals, guaranteed to score you 25, 30 goals a season. Harry Kane is that man. If you said to me, which is the best team, which club needs Harry Kane, Man City or Man United, I would tell you Manchester United. They need him. Go out and get him.
It's ironic, they've got a Cavani there who's a wonderful number 9, Tim, like you're saying.
The best number 9 they've got.
Absolutely. He's injured, I think, at the moment. A younger Cavani, that team's finished. It's like, bang, now you're cooking on gas.
Is that something that's likely to happen, or can Manchester United not afford Harry Kane in this market?
I don't think, it's a lot of money on, but what's the price for Harry Kane? At the moment, Tottenham are saying he's not for sale. He's obviously made his intentions clear that he wants to leave the football club. Whether Tottenham decide to let him go remains to be seen, but there'd be a big void if he left Tottenham. What would Tottenham be without Harry Kane? We've seen what he's done over the last few seasons, but Harry's been very good to that club. He realises that the club has been good to him in the past. And he's made his intentions clear. So watch this space. We've still got a lot of time left in the window. But if there's a club out there which desperately need a number 9 in the mould of Harry Kane, for me, it's the team in red in Manchester.
Would they win the title if they had Harry Kane?
I think they'd be challenging if they had Harry Kane. I think he puts them into a different bracket. At the moment, can they get on that starting line and have a realistic chance? Of course they can. They're Manchester United. They've got very talented players and they've strengthened, like with Varane, if Varane goes in there. But I still think they need to score the goals when they're not playing well. And I think Harry gives them that.
We talked about the return of fans to the stadiums. How rocking is it going to be at Old Trafford tomorrow when Leeds come to town? I
mean, of all the games as well, for Old Trafford to welcome fans back, all 76,000 of them, and it's Leeds, and it's the old rivalry and everything, it's going to be very, very special. And Glenn said earlier, some teams miss the fans more than others, and I do think that Old Trafford missed them. And for a game like this, to have the fans is huge for United, especially when they had a very average home form last season. I think they won only 9 out of the 18 games that they played at home, or 19 games at home. This is not good enough if you want to challenge. And they finished second with a poor home form. With the fans, you can expect them maybe to have a better home form this season, and that will make the difference.
It's a dangerous fixture for United. I think United in some ways would have been preferred to have gone to Leeds and hit them on the break because this Leeds side, you never quite know what you're going to get from them. You know, they could easily go there and win and surprise everyone, but they could go there and get battered.
One
They
thing's
also
for
lost
sure.
6-2 last season.
Yeah.
Ollie said it in his interview there. We know one thing's for sure, they're going to be fit. They're going to be the fittest team in the league. I mean, I found that very strange, him admitting that. You know, Leeds are the fittest team in the league. And my question to Ollie would have been, well, can your team not be the fittest, or do you think it's not important for them to be the fittest? First game in the season, Glenn will tell you, it's very important to be fit. And this team will be right at it from the word go, and it's going to be a tough game for Manchester United.
Well, that'll be tough as well, because a lot of these players, you know, across all the teams in the Premier League have been playing in the European Championships, Copa America, the Olympics. So it's been a busy summer for a lot of these Premier League players. How much will that affect some of the key players in some of these teams?
Well, I think, talking to Leeds, I'm pretty sure Leeds have probably had quite a few players that have been rested.
Loads of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
So they'll be ready.
Brazilian,
They will be ahead of United on the fitness levels anyway. But with this, particularly this game and through this pre-season, Jules, I see this as a real dangerous, if Leeds go 1-0 up and that crowds get a little bit impatient on United, that could be a tough afternoon for them.
They'll be pleased to hear you say that, Glenn, the Leeds fans, and also pleased that Marcelo Bielsa signed a new contract yesterday. This is what he had to say ahead of the new campaign.
Hay un momento muy especial en el desarrollo de los equipos.
There's a very special moment in the development of a team
donde el reconocimiento a lo que sucedió antes
where the recognition of what happened before
desaparece
it disappears,
y la exigencia por lo que va lo próximo aumenta.
and the demand for what's next increases.
Y en ese no todos los equipos tienen la fortaleza para resolver esa cuestión.
And not all the teams have the fortitude to resolve this.